I almost forgot. These guys are, and always will be, curses. In recent times, there seems to be a lack of faith in Yuji as the protagonist, in how he's been replaced with Gojo, or just that he's disappointing. But I'm sure you've read the title, and either you're nodding your head in agreement, or you're just absolutely disgusted with the fact that someone would make such a claim, running to the comment sections before I can even get my point across. And to that I say, hear me out. In this video, I will be proving to you guys that Yuji will become the next designated special grade, using narrative evidence littered throughout the series to prove that he belongs with the best. Obviously, Yuji's not soloing an entire country at this point, and this is a video about the future, so scaling Yuji's power will be irrelevant here. First, the way I'm going to do this is by examining all 4 of the current special grade sorcerers, what they represent, and most importantly, their purpose, starting with the weakest of the bunch, Suguru Geto. As we know, Suguru is a user of the very rare and powerful ability Cursed Spirit Manipulation, which, as the name suggests, allows the user to manipulate cursed spirits and use them in battle. Although this is one of the best abilities in the series, I'm certain that this alone is not why Suguru is a special grade sorcerer. I believe that a part of this equation includes his purpose. With Geto having 2 in the time that we knew him, we know that both require Geto to be insanely strong to achieve in the first place. One of Geto's goals was the absolute protection of all non-sorcerers, and the other being the absolute eradication of all non-sorcerers. When he was first focused on protecting them, Geto was able to reach the level of special grade toward the end of his time as a student within Jujutsu High. But when he fell into madness and went with the route of eradicating all non-sorcerers, he had no choice but to become much stronger. Because now, Geto has to face Jujutsu society in order to achieve his goal, rather than only curses. Geto even says to Gojo that, "It's possible for you, right Satoru? If it's possible for you, can you really go around telling people that it's impossible? If I could become you, then even this foolish idea would be perfectly plausible, don't you think?" This quote breaks down how important the purpose of a sorcerer is to their power ceiling. Because Geto has only chosen to become stronger and even make an attempt to reach the level of Gojo because he's discovered this much more difficult purpose, one that's said to be impossible to achieve at his current level of strength. This new purpose leads to Geto obsessing over power and doing everything he can in order to cultivate even more than he already had over multiple years, even attempting to possess Rika in order to eradicate all non-sorcerers. I genuinely do believe that the conversations between the 3 special grades in the hidden inventory arc truly serve to showcase what makes them stand out from the rest. This being their obsession with their goals, and how they will stop at nothing to achieve them. Now we move on to Yuki, and she'll be quick. When we first meet Yuki, she essentially states that her purpose is to find a way to remove all cursed spirits from the world, but in a way that does not harm any non-sorcerers. She first lists 2 methods of doing so. Her first being to eliminate all cursed energy from human beings, which allows humanity to break away from cursed energy completely. And the second method is to find a way for humanity to control their cursed energy, or in other words, optimize it. When we finally see Yuki in the present time, the first thing she states is that she believes the next stage of humanity lies in breaking away from cursed energy. This once again reminding the audience of her purpose. Yuki then explains to Kenjaku that the optimization of cursed energy will lead to tons of bloodshed, and that is a world far removed from the ideal that she pursues. Yuki in a way resembles sacrifice, constantly displaying that her true purpose in life is to create a peaceful world for everybody, even if that purpose requires her own life. Even Yuki's strongest ability is one that can consume the entire world at the cost of her own life. Yet, she uses it as a last resort in order to stop Kenjaku, save Choso, and retrieve Gojo, giving the heroes one last chance to save Japan. To achieve a world as grandiose as peace in a world such as Jujutsu Kaisen, you would have to be absolutely unstoppable. And Yuki at a certain point in history was, as she was likely the most powerful sorcerer alive before Gojo got his awakening and became the absolute strongest. Speaking of Gojo, as we know, he is the strongest special grade. When Gojo was born, his presence shook the entire world of Jujutsu, and he's very well aware of this. As his identity revolved around being able to handle any problem that came across him because he was the absolute strongest, eventually, Gojo does come across a problem that his current strength did not suffice for, and as a result, Gojo was able to awaken and reach an unparalleled power. one that certified him and him alone as the honored one. After Gojo defeats Toji, he goes on to train himself even further in order to make sure that a failure such as the one he suffered against the Time Vessel Association could never happen again, catapulting his power into the stratosphere. Although remaining the absolute strongest is no longer Gojo's purpose after the loss of Geto, this purpose is the one that allowed Gojo to grow exponentially in strength, even far beyond other special grades. I'm even going to speculate that Gojo ended up far stronger than everybody else because that's exactly what he wanted. Whereas Yuki, Geto, and even Yuta's goals revolve around solving the problems of others in the world, Gojo's goals revolve around himself and strength, and thus he was able to grow much further than the rest. This is why I believe that Gojo is Gojo because he is the strongest. His mindset and purpose that was instilled in him since he was a child is what allowed him to transcend as a sorcerer. And now lastly, there's Yuta Okkotsu. Although the first time Yuta was designated to be a special grade sorcerer, it was due to the presence of Rika within his arsenal. And after Rika left him and passed on, he was demoted to a grade 4 sorcerer. So how did Yuta manage to become strong enough to earn his title as a special grade sorcerer once again, despite letting Rika pass on? The answer to this lies within his battle with Geto. With Yuta saying to Geto, "But for me to stay friends with everyone, I need to believe that I'm allowed to live." Yuta battles Geto for the sake of protecting his friends, the people that allowed him to find his purpose. All that matters to Yuta is being able to protect those people that have given him the hope that he can make friends and live a happy life. To him, this is his purpose, and in order to do this, he must surpass Geto as a sorcerer in that moment, in which he does. After the events of Jujutsu Kaisen 0, Yuta most likely continued to train himself relentlessly until he can reach the power that he once had. The power that will allow him to protect the people that he loves and cares for as long as possible, no matter what opposes him in the future. Yuta pushes this ideology to a point where he does not even want to kill Kenjaku for his own sake, but for the sake of protecting Gojo from having to kill his best friend again. And this battle will most likely force Yuta to push for even more power in the future. So after going through the purpose of all current special grade sorcerers, what purpose does Yuji have that will allow him to reach the level of power that these four have? Yuji's purpose is now to kill Sukuna at his full strength. And as Yuji even states himself, he will eat anything in order to kill Sukuna. Gege time and time again has littered hints all over the story of a sorcerer's purpose being connected to their strength. As Megumi only seems to get more powerful, the closer he gets to his self-actualization. And how Yuji rapidly grew in strength as he visualized killing Mahito throughout the story. I believe that this is why Gege focuses on Yuji developing as a character so much, and the emotional weight behind his battles, way more than just making him look cool. As all of Yuji's serious fights tend to push him in one step towards this direction. And finally, the crushing defeat he suffered at the hands of Sukuna in chapter 215, I believe that Yuji's journey is now nearing its completion. Yuji, like the other special grades, has to reach an immense unparalleled level of power in order to achieve his purpose. And we've seen the lengths that Yuji will go to do this, as almost nothing can stop him from marching towards his purpose, not even death. With overcoming the wall that is Sukuna requiring more power than anyone else's goal, Yuji is guaranteed to not only become a special grade sorcerer, but the strongest. Hey guys, Hunter here. Hopefully you enjoyed the video today. If I were able to entertain you, please consider leaving a like. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing, as only 2.6% of my viewers are subscribed. I kind of want to convert, that's why I'm doing a little advertising here. But yeah, my bad. I don't want to drag this on. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.